This Saturday morning edition of Pucks Across Borders on Sports Addict Live, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Do the math. 20 becomes 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60. You get the picture. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever you want, they got it. So go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. That's the number one, STRoundcollectibles.com. Use promo code SportsAddict for 10% off every card in the store. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah. I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah, oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats.
And welcome to Pucks Across Borders on a Saturday morning. Great game in the NHL last night. Another great game on deck for us tonight. We'll talk about it all. Good to be here. Pucks Across Borders brought to you by First Round Collectibles. I am Mark Sauter, and with me at the top of your screen, you read his work about the NFL on Gridiron Heroics. John, how we feeling on a Saturday morning, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, and glad nobody got arrested last night in that hockey game. And guys, I think we got to submit our application to start covering the NHL because clearly ESPN needs some help.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that, man. I always wish that I have their broadcast because like Ray Ferraro is such a beauty and I love listening to him break down plays, but you guys were not impressed with that broadcast last night. And to your point about getting arrested, dude, Paul Maurice, what a beauty that guy is. Like, I just love listening to him talk, man. I feel like Paul Maurice and John Cooper, anything that those two have to say, I just love it. I don't know. It's so funny. But yeah, so wow, my brain just completely fell off my body. At the bottom of your screen, you read his gambling picks on Winners and Whiners. You read his work on Give Me Sport. Andre, how are you doing on a Saturday, man? Good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm doing pretty well, I gotta say. It's not just hockey that ESPN struggles with, it's everything. So kudos to us for knowing that Carolina, not the Carolina Panthers or the Carolina Hurricanes, are not in the conference finals.
Yeah, that's a tough look, eh? It's tough. And like, listen, everybody makes mistakes and blah, blah, blah. But when you're ESPN, like you're not allowed. Like, it's one thing for like a commentator or a broadcaster to say something, because you know how it is. I mean, we talk for an hour every day. Those guys are talking for 3-4 hours every night. You're bound to say something stupid. You're bound to make a mistake. I've already made like 5 and we've been on the air for 4 minutes. That's just kind of what happens. But when you're like the production team for like a multi-billion-dollar company, you kind of got to get that right. It's kind of important to get that right. But let's move on to what happened on the ice. Full disclosure, I've said this many times. We believe in transparency on this show. My wife basically said to me yesterday, listen, you've been watching hockey for 5 hours every night since October. You work 24/7. We're leaving the house and you don't have a say. And I just said, Understood. So I did not watch the game last night. I was able to catch the overtime period just in time to watch my bet cash. But I'm leaning on you guys for this one this morning. I did not see the game. By all accounts, the goaltending was tremendous on both sides. And the Rangers did what they had to do to get the win. Andre, we'll start with you, man. What did you see in that game last night?
Just like Stars Oilers game 1, it was just fantastic hockey, top to bottom, start to finish, from both sides. I think last night was a representation of what we expected from this series. It was physical, it was tense, drastic momentum swings throughout the game. As far as there were stretches where it seemed like the Rangers were about to take over, score goal to take a nice healthy lead. There were stretches where it seemed like the Panthers were the dominant team, just back and forth. Just great game. The big boys played pretty well for the most part. So got some pretty good shifts out of the bottom guys. Obviously, everyone's going to be talking about Matt Rempe still. He actually played in the third period. He played in overtime. Actually put together a pretty nice performance. When Jimmy Vesey got hurt and didn't return, they dropped Will Cooley down to the fourth line. I think that fourth line actually looked phenomenal. Goodrow, Rempe, Cooley. I think since Vesey didn't finish the game, there's a strong chance he won't be good for an afternoon game on Sunday. It's a quicker turnaround. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rempe's back in the fourth line again. You got to toss somebody else back in there, though, if you drop Cooley to the fourth. So maybe you drop Heater down to third, and you move Rosovich back to the first line. Maybe you put Kako back in the lineup. I don't know. But I think it could have gone either way. It was just a fantastic game. I don't really have much more to add other than that.
Yeah.
It was genuinely just fantastic hockey.
Well, to your Rempe point, dude, like I was thinking about this yesterday. The whole day I was listening to NHL Network Radio on Sirius XM, some great hockey content on that channel all day long. Sirius XM, by the way, best $13 a month you'll spend, in my opinion, as a sports fan. But I can't believe, like, it's hilarious, dude. Like, the amount of airtime the Rempe conversation gets is just so fascinating to me. Like, everybody wants to know, is Rempe playing? Is Rempe playing? Like, the guy plays like 5 minutes a night. Like, and I get it. Like, I get what he represents, but it's just super interesting to me, man. Like, the guy's 6'8". He'll just destroy you. He scores a goal once in a blue moon. It's just a weird thing, just how many people talk about the Empire State Building. It's just super weird. Still the best nickname in sports, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, and to that point, when you have Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, and Henrik Lundqvist, probably the three most famous Rangers living right now, or former Rangers, all saying, like, Rempe needs to go. We want to see Rempe in the lineup, blah, blah, blah. You kind of have to listen. And then, I mean, that kind of speaks to, I guess, what he does bring to the team, even though it's not necessarily tangible. They win when he's in the lineup. They play better. They're more fearless. So, I mean, those are all things they could do without him. But when he's there, it just feels and looks different. I don't know.
And I felt for Peter Laviolette yesterday because, like a reporter asked him straight up, like, is Rempe playing? And he was like, we'll make that decision later. And then they asked him, does the fact that Messier, Gretzky, and Lundqvist all think that he should play, does that have any factor in your decision, what's the guy gonna say? Like, of course he's gonna say no. Like, he's a credible coach, one of the best coaches in the NHL ever. What's he gonna say? Like, yes, I call Gretzky before I make all my decisions. Like, of course he's gonna say no. But now that he's in the lineup, it does have that look to it, right? Where it's like, oh, so now that the great one and Messier, like, I felt bad for him. I feel like he was put in this decision where it's like, can you guys just all shut up and let me do my job? Now I got Gretzky being the one who looks like, you know what I mean? It was funny. But John, what did you see in that game last night, dude?
First off, it was a big win for the Rangers for sure. Couldn't afford to go down 2-0 in that series against a talented team like Florida. And we were talking about the Rempe thing yesterday. I mean, at least in the New York metro area, that was getting a lot of discussion brewing
everywhere.
I think I was surprised the Rangers actually pulled the trigger on it and went through it, because I noticed like immediately in the first period, Rempe was active and Kaka was a healthy scratch. So I felt like the Rangers were listening to basically everybody, like not just the three guys you guys mentioned, but I think a lot of Rangers fans were like saying, at least in the New York metro area, were saying like they want to see Rempe, and local sports radio hosts were discussing it. Got a lot of hype. What I saw early in the game was the Rangers sent a clear message immediately that we're not getting pushed around again. And I think that was both a good and a bad thing, because it was a good thing because I think a lot of people felt like Florida pushed them around by the end of game one. And Mark, you mentioned on the game one recap that the Rangers didn't necessarily look like they fought back. Game two, I think they took that to heart, the criticism. I think they were listening to the public. I think it's pretty clear the Rangers were listening to the public on everything. First 5 minutes of the game, there was a big fight after the Trocheck goal.
So, I saw that, yeah.
So I think that goal was important, not just for the Rangers to get off to a fast start and build some confidence, but they I think they sent a message to Florida early that we're not getting pushed around again. And Rempe being in the lineup, I think, was part of that message. I have to say, though, I think the Rangers bought too much into it almost. I felt like they got away from their style of play a little bit. I think they were almost too focused on winning the physical battle in regulation later on in the game, where they almost forgot to play pure hockey. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing that wrong, but like, I think the Rangers were so focused on winning the physical battle and winning the boards, they didn't take as much time for their skill players to shine. That's just kind of the impression I got, because I think they were so focused on not getting pushed, or so oriented on not getting pushed around again, that became too much of the primary goal. And I think Florida got caught up in it too, to be fair. Special teams, I think, was a big part of the game too. Florida scored their lone goal on a power play. Rangers can't seem to get their power play going, but I have to credit the Florida PK on that one. They've been lethal in the playoffs. I think I saw last night that they killed 24 out of 25 of their last power plays at some point. That number may have gone up later in the night. I don't remember exactly. Overtime, I felt like the Rangers got back to their style of play a little bit. That game winner was a beauty by Goodrow, like literally passed, once he got through the blue line, literally passed the puck, had the puck passed back to him, and shot it on the left side of Bobrovsky. I thought that was a beautiful play. And the pass down the ice to get to him.
Any higher that shot, it hits the crossbar.
Yes.
Any lower, Bobrovsky saves it. Like, it was literally in like the perfect spot. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I felt like the Rangers got back to more of their style of play in overtime. Like I said, I think they were too focused on the physicality and regulation. That's not necessarily a completely bad thing, because they did have to send a message to Florida that we can fight too. But I think that should have been over in the first 5 or 10 minutes, whereas I think they let that carry on throughout almost all of regulation a little too much.
So Just a little bit. I told you guys this pre-show, but I gotta talk about this. Every time you mention Goudreau's name, it just comes back to me. If the people watching, if you've watched this show for the whole season or you've been watching for half the season or whatever, then you've heard me talk about this before. Those post-game interviews where you got the live mic in front of the whole crowd, those interviews drive me crazy, man. Like, you get the poor girl goes out there and she says to Goudreau, like, the guy just scored a game-winning overtime goal in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you ask him, so how do you feel right now? It's like, I feel awful. I feel awful. This sucks. I hate it. Like, what? Like, it just, all these questions, there's only one answer. And it's just so bizarre to me. Like, and then the next question was, the next question was, how big was that win? It was like, it wasn't big at all. It's a Tuesday in February. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know, man. Like, who are these interviews for? Like, are they for the fans? Are they for, like, I don't know, man. Is it because we don't know what else to do with the airtime? We need 30 seconds of meaningless conversation to throw. It just drives me nuts. Like, how do you feel and how big was this game? The guy just scored a game-winning goal in overtime in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, just the most obvious answers. I don't know. It drives me crazy, but hey, what do I know? All right, moving on. Nothing really else of note to discuss. Carolina Hurricanes GM relieved of his duties yesterday, or retired, or not retired, but like left or whatever. Rumors about him going to Columbus. That's going to be interesting to kind of watch as the summer goes on, just because Carolina, as much of a good position as they're in, still a really big summer for them to get back to where they were this past season. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And if he does in fact go to Columbus, we could talk an hour. We're not going to do it today, clearly, because no one cares about Columbus in May. But that situation in Columbus is fascinating to me, and we'll talk about that as the summer goes on. But other than that, not too much to get into. Rumors around Toronto are that the Leafs are working to lock up Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi long term, but nobody cares about that. So we'll just go right into game 2 of the Dallas Stars and Edmonton Oilers tonight in Dallas. Minus 142 are the Dallas Stars on home ice. On the road, the Edmonton Oilers are plus 120. The over is 5.5 at minus 125, and the under is plus 105. Minus 1.5 for the Stars is plus 180. Plus 1.5 for the Oilers is minus 218. Andre, we'll start with you. Tell us what you see in this game tonight. I'll throw a little leading question. I will lead the witness a little bit, if you will, much like those stupid post-game interviews. We were all pretty adamant that Dallas is going to win this series in 5, maybe 6 games. What do you see tonight? And did game 1 change anything for you? Because it's messing with my head a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. So that was a excellent performance by Skinner. I don't think I still don't trust him. I need to see it at least 2 more times. I know he had that stretch during the season. They won 17 in a row. He was fantastic for most of it. That's why they were able to keep winning it. The offense was never the question. It was always him and the defense. So yeah, he's capable of putting together long stretches of play like last night. The defense is as well. I'm just not going to buy it until I see it. That's where I'm at with it. As far as the series, game 1 didn't sway me. It's actually something that happened last night that swayed me. While we all were sleeping, I had a dream that the Oilers beat the Rangers in overtime. Now, the only way that can happen is if both those teams win. So I've now decided that the Rangers are playing the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. I don't make the rules. Um,
Your higher power
yeah,
was
that
speaking to you through dreams. I love
clearly it was a premonition that I'm just going to be hurt in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to tell you the other dream. It involves a Marvel character, and it was much weirder and scarier. But moving on, we have
it. So
this
many
game.
ways that could go.
Saturday morning cartoons taken to a deep level.
I love that. That's so funny.
God.
Also, I'm really glad that you used the word premonition, because I was actually going to say that, but like my vocabulary is not super strong, and I was like, premonition, is that right? I don't know. If I say premonition, I might sound like a stupid idiot. But you used it, and you are a professional writer, so I believe that was the right. I should have just gone with my gut, you know.
You should. You shouldn't doubt yourself. And I mean,
I do.
as an avid Star Wars watcher, premonition rolls off the tongue. Well, I'm really plugging Disney today. You know, talking about ESPN, Marvel, and Star Wars in the same 20 minutes.
Yeah, they owe you a check, man.
They got to
Seriously.
absorb us. We can merge.
Yeah, they can just hire us. That would be a lot better.
Buy Pucks
We know.
please.
We know the team's playing in the playoffs still, so shout out to us again.
Oh yeah.
So betting wise for this game, what I actually love is the Oilers. They're averaging 30.5 shots in the postseason. They had 38 in game one, 29 of them in the first. You can get Jake Andre over 26.5 saves at -110. I think he was sharp. If he's facing 30 shots, you have to imagine he stops at least 27 of them, maybe gives up 3. That's a 90 save percentage against this team. That's pretty good. That's a winning bet right there, assuming the baseline of 30. That doesn't include like any potential overtime again, because I think this is going to be a tight series. Another thing I like, and you guys should have known this was coming, Issa Lindell over 2.5 block shots. He blocked 4 in game 1. He blocked 4 in game 5 against the Avs. If we're talking about the volume of the Oilers again, and keep the puck out of the net, you're going to have to put your body on the line. It's the conference finals. So Lindell, you know, he's playing 23 plus minutes every single night. I think he's going to block at least 3 shots. It's over 2.5 right now. I think it's plus 135 last time I saw it. So that's another prop I like. Just strictly looking at the game, I'm going to take the over. I know last game was low scoring. I know this will probably be tighter. I'm not budging on the fact that I think this is going to be a higher scoring series. I think, at least for now, I'm choosing to believe that game 1 was somewhat of an anomaly with both goalies standing on their head. And as far as a side goes, I'm not really sure, honestly. I could see it going either way. And it's a cop-out, and it's because it's the conference finals, and I feel like all 4 teams, like every game moving forward, I'm going to feel the same way. Where it's like, I could see both teams winning. But, gun to my head, I'll say Stars. Gun to my head, I'll say Stars.
Yeah, I think Dallas wins this game too. It's really interesting talking about the over, because I was going to say that, like, to bet anything to do with the Stars winning, I don't love it. I think -142, if you want to throw that in like a parlay with some baseball games and the basketball game or something, then go for it. But like, I don't love the puck line and the 60-minute line. I think betting a 60-minute line, and I know that we've done it over the last like few games. I've come to the conclusion through the first 3 games that have been played in the conference finals between both sides, 60-minute bets are foolish right now with the way that these 4 teams are playing. I just feel like a 60-minute bet is like, I don't know. It just scares me right now for both conferences, like for both series. But I was going to say that my favorite play is the under. I feel like the under has been underestimated, no pun intended, for all 3 games. I think all 3 games in the conference finals so far have gone under. And I think that trend is probably going to continue. So the under at plus money, I definitely see where you're coming from. Like, both the Oilers and the Stars, tremendous goal scoring teams. Not only this year, but for years, they've both been tremendous goal scoring teams. So I definitely see where you're coming from. I just the vibe that I'm getting from both of these series is just a ton of unders, and so I'm really interested to see what that's like moving forward for the Oilers. Like, and again, I talked about this last time. Like, being from Canada, there's a lot of Oilers conversation up here. It's taken over the country. So I feel like I'm in the minority here. I don't know, man. Like, it scares me. Listen, Connor McDavid, we know who he is. We don't need to talk about that. Best player in the world. Leon Draisaitl, he is the best playoff performer in the game. That's like a fact. Better than McDavid, right? That's a fact. I get it. Zach Hyman, Shaq Hyman, as his nickname has now become, and it's hilarious. And it's true because all of his goals happen in the paint. It's really quite funny. But I still don't like that all of their production is around these three guys. Like, something about it bothers me. I heard someone say it yesterday that it's the perfect script, right? They score, Skinner plays great. It's the perfect script. Is it? Like, if you're relying on Skinner to stand on his head every game and for the same three guys to score all your goals, like, it bothers me, and it doesn't seem to be the general consensus, and it worries me. So I'm finding it hard to rely on this Oilers team when they literally have zero depth right now. Not that they have zero depth. They do have guys who can do it. They do, but they're not doing it. And they're like, I get it that they won the other night, but something about the fact that they won and all three goal scorers were the three guys that you would bet to score, like, it just concerns me. I don't know. I also think for the Dallas Stars side of things, and I think this could actually be said about the Oilers as well, so maybe this just isn't helpful at all, but I feel like the Oilers didn't start that great. I thought Dallas did not have a very good second period. I think more so on Dallas, especially in the third as well. Like, I don't know. Dallas didn't play the best game, and the game still went to overtime. The Oilers didn't really play their best game, and they still won. Like, I get it why Dallas is minus 142, but I think these odds should be pick'ems for the rest of the way, at least for right now. Like, it just feels like it's hard to gauge. I am going to pick Dallas to win. Like I said, I don't like the odds for any of the options available to bet them to win. Opposite of Andre, I do really like the under. I just think that that's going to be the type of series that this is. I also think what you said about Lindell, I really do think, like, him and Tanev were on the ice for 2 goals last night, and they were on the ice for 2 goals for the entire playoffs before that. And I think both those guys are going to come out to play tonight. So give me Dallas. I'm not going to bet it, but give me the under as well. And I'm starting to get a little bit tired of my Wyatt Johnston goal prop because I keep picking him to score, and he's not doing it right now. So, but the one prop that I actually really do like, sorry, just real quickly, Jamie Benn had 4 shots the other night, or 5, 4 or 5 shots the other night. For Jamie Benn, over 2.5 shots is plus 150. And I really, really like that bet a lot. Jamie Benn props kind of scare me because, you know, he's an older player, been around for a while. You never really know what you're going to get. But over 2.5 at plus 150, that's enough for me to throw my hat in. So Jamie Benn over 2.5 plus 150, and I'll take the under as well. John, what about you, bro? What you got?
I agree with you about Dallas in that I like them to win tonight, but the betting options for them to win are terrible, if I'm putting it frankly. Because I feel like, again, I'm just kind of echoing what Mark said. After game one, I don't feel confident in a 60-minute line at all for Dallas, and I would never put a puck line bet in this situation either against a team like Edmonton that's capable of scoring. I mean, even in last series against Vancouver, almost every game Edmonton lost in that series was by 1 goal. So I don't feel comfortable fading Edmonton on a puck line, put it that way. So this game, I'm gonna throw in another sport here to bring this all together. As general sports watchers may realize, the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Stars are both in the conference finals in their respective sports. Dallas Mavericks won last night thanks to an absolute sniper of a shot by Luka Doncic. Why am I saying this? It's because I think as general sports fans in the Dallas area, it's creating a bit of a buzz. I think this is a special time in the Dallas area right now for sports. And Mark mentioned this in game one. It looked like a party in Dallas. And I think this is part of the reason why, because the Dallas sports area has a chance to do something, quite frankly, historic. And the Mavericks, I think, winning last night is going to play a part into the energy and the atmosphere that American Airlines Center is going to have tonight.
Interesting.
Because if the Dallas Stars win this game, it's going to be 1-1 in this series. And then game three, the first game of the conference finals at home for the Dallas Mavericks, will be the next night. And they could just continue to feed off of each other. I'm having a theory that the crowd is going to be extra pumped tonight because the Mavericks are doing so well. And they want the Stars to be right there with them. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I
love it.
I think Andre put me onto this about the Rangers and the Knicks. Maybe these teams can like be infectious and feed off each other. Like the Mavericks are taking a step up. It's time for the Stars to do the same. As far as the game itself, I'm with Mark on the under too. Really, really like the under. Edmonton, outside the game, they scored 5 goals against Vancouver. They've done a great job of being in unders the last 3 or 4 games. Skinner, he's only allowed 5 goals in his last 3 games. So until I see otherwise, I don't see a reason why an underplay isn't good here. And I think that these are 2 of the top 5 offenses in the NHL in the regular season. And that the over-under line is sitting at 5.5. That's saying a lot to me. Saying a lot. And it actually went down compared to what game one, because game one, they put it at 6. So I think the sports books are tipping their hand a little bit that they think this is going to be an under series. I don't like to follow the sports books blindly too often, but this is something I kind of already agreed with. And it's just kind of, I don't know, confirmation bias to me. The goal scorer prop, since I don't like the Dallas betting odds for picking them to win, I'll just talk about goal scorer props real quick. Mark mentioned one on the Dallas side. I think something very interesting is what each of the star players are sitting at, or no pun intended. I got to change my wording considering the name of the team.
No, it's great.
Because I meant to include the Oilers players in this too. So the top 3 goal scorer are odds. This isn't shocking, but it's the 3 main Oilers guys. But the order of which they're at surprises me. Hyman is sitting at even money. Then it's Draisaitl. That's not a surprise. And then McDavid. And then a notable thing about Dallas. I mean, Sagan scored 2 goals in game 1, and he's at plus 265. The other Oilers guys I mentioned are less than half the odds of that. Hyman in particular really jumped out at me, but I think the sports books may be leaning on the fact he scored a goal in 3 straight games. I don't think I would bet that again. There's only so many games he's going to score a goal. What I really like is McDavid, honestly. He only has 3 goals in the entire playoffs, but he's an assist machine. But I feel like he's going to start getting more by himself soon. I don't know. I think after game 1, I just get the feeling that he's really finding his groove in these last few games during this winning streak. And I think McDavid's going to come out to play tonight. So I think if I'm betting as a goal scorer prop, and I'm not saying Edmonton wins, but I think McDavid gets on the board. So I mainly like the under, and I like McDavid getting a goal tonight, betting wise in this game.
Well, we were talking about this pre-show, so the option's not available on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, and I'm just going to pull it up here real quick. On FanDuel, you can bet first goal by the team, so not like anytime goal scorer for the whole game, but like first away goal scorer. I got to find it here. We're live. It is what it is. Where are we? First away team goal scorer, Zach Hyman's plus 430 to be the first goal scorer for the Oilers. McDavid's plus 550. Draisaitl's plus 500. Like, if you got some extra milk money and you want to throw down on that, like, I love that a lot. On the anytime goal scoring prop on the Oilers side of things, I think that, I think he's only scored 5 goals in the postseason, but Evan Bouchard, man, he's plus 340 to score a goal. And if anyone not named Zach, Leon, or Connor is going to score, it's going to be Mr. Bouchard. Plus 340 is terrific odds for him. So if you're looking for some long shot bets, on the Dallas side of things, Matt Duchene, the overtime hero in game 6, he's plus 350. So there's some really good quote unquote long shot bets that aren't really that long shot. Yeah, really interesting to see moving forward. The last thing that I will say though too is on the whole Skinner thing, like, it's a really weird thing, right? When you're just waiting for the guy to implode, but we're also just kind of blindly trusting Jake Ottinger now, who's just, we were really worried about, but now he's just like playing well. I think, was it Andre was saying, sorry, Andre, were you saying for Stuart Skinner, you need to see one more game before you fully like buy in? Was that what you were saying at the beginning?
Yeah, like another game or two, another strong performance.
Yeah, for me, I need to see them in the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, I don't think anything he's going to do is going to make me buy in until they are in the finals. I just feel like it's just been too shaky. And we'll see what happens for sure. All right, moving on to our best bets as it's going to be for the rest of the playoffs. It is same game parlay time. SGP, as the kids are calling it. And it is brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off, tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. That's the number 1, STRoundcollectibles.com. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off every card in the First Round Collectibles store. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Andre, how you feeling? What bet? I was just like, all that habits die hard. How you feeling about the game today? We literally just talked about it. What bet do you see as your best bet tonight?
Oh man. I feel like our goalie props always end up cursed. So I'm going to be the change. I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world. And I'm going to take Issa Lindell over 2.5 blocked shots at plus 135.
You did it. You did it. Beautiful. John, what about you, bro?
First off, what a bet, Andre. What a bet. Well done.
Great bet. Great bet, Andre.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so I'm gonna ask Mark a question before I lock this in. How strong are you on the under? Because I have a backup bet, but I think that would be my first choice.
You can take the under, man. If you want the under, take the under, bro. I got you.
I'm
I'm
more
strong on it. I am very strong on it, but if you want it, take it, bro.
Yeah, I have like it's like that would be my first choice, but I have a second choice I feel okay about too. So if you really want
What's
it, I
your
don't.
second choice? Let's vote on it. Let's take it to the class. What's your second choice?
My second choice would be McDavid as an anytime goal scorer.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Which one do you feel strongest about? What's like your like go to?
Oh, the under. I feel stronger about that one.
Yeah, all right. Take the under. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, it's a free country.
I feel stronger about that one compared to the McDavid thing. But McDavid's like my favorite goal scorer prop. But I'll take the under for this circumstance.
Love it. I mean, when I say free country, you're in a free country. I'm not too sure what Canada is. We'll see what happens in the future, but I don't want to get too political over here. Yeah, all right. I love that bet, man. Listen, Connor McDavid to score a goal, obviously, like Connor McDavid to do anything, it is one of those bets that you bet, and if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, but he's the best player in the world. I just do think that teams have figured out a way to neutralize him. Like that goal in overtime, defensive breakdown, right place, right time. But he's just not scoring in this postseason, so I don't mind the pass on that. I'm going to go a little bit. I mean, it's a bet that I already mentioned. It's a little bit kind of out there, but Jamie Benn at over 2.5 shots seems like beautiful to me. And yeah, he got 4 shots the other day. Whatever. We're live. Like I said, we're live. I'm just going to quickly make sure that I'm spitting truth before I just say a bunch of things. Oh, yeah. 4 shots in the last game, 5 shots in game 6, 4 shots in game 5. Both those last 2 games against Colorado. So he's gotten way over 2.5 for 3 straight games. It was a struggle for the rest of the playoffs, but in the last 3 games, he's really been shooting the puck a lot. So give me Jamie Benn over 2.5 shots at plus 150, man. I love it.
You know, that's funny. I was drawn to Ben as a goal scorer earlier today. I saw his name. It's like, I feel like he's going to get one.
Was that the third dream that you had last night? Was Jamie Benn scoring a goal?
Jamie Benn scoring a goal is my dream every night. But I don't think it's not our best bets for today. So you're going to have another day to shine.
Yeah.
Mr. Dallas Star. Our best bets today. Issa Lindell over 2.5 block shots at plus 135. Under 5.5 total goals at plus 105. And Jamie Benn over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 150. That's a plus 1,100 same game parlay.
I love it. I actually really like this parlay tonight, boys. I think it's going to be good. We were close last night. That overtime killed your shot prop there, John. We were right there, bro. But you know what, man? It is what it is. It's the playoffs, dude. We're playing hurt. We just get back up. We get the job done. To everybody watching, whether you are watching live or throughout the day, we appreciate you. Shout out to First Round Collectibles. Like we said, with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off every card in the First Round Collectibles store. Shameless plug, as I always do, TotalApexSports.com. My column on this game tonight will be out shortly. Thanks for watching, everybody. John, Andre, great job. Have a great night. Enjoy the games. Lots of good sports on today. Baseball, golf, basketball, hockey. It's all happening. We'll see you tomorrow.